Senate Republicans steamed toward passage of a $1.4 trillion tax bill Friday, overcoming 11th-hour hitches in their drive to deliver a major legislative accomplishment to President Donald Trump by Christmas. "We have the votes," Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said after a closed-door meeting of Republican senators. One prior holdout, Sen. Jeff Flake, R. Arizona, announced that he would support the bill. Another, Sen. Susan Collins, R. Maine, said on Twitter she was delighted she'd won an agreement from leaders to add a $10,000 deduction for local property taxes and was considered all but certain to back the measure. With the party controlling the Senate 52-48 and Democrats uniformly opposed, Republicans need 50 votes to win approval for the bill. Vice President Mike Pence would break a tie. In a flurry of last-minute deal-making to win over votes, GOP leaders also agreed to more generous tax breaks for millions of businesses. Companies whose owners pay taxes on profits using individual tax rates would be allowed larger deductions than the original bill, and the legislation's phase-out of tax breaks for companies buying equipment would be slowed. A GOP summary obtained by the Associated Press showed that to pay for the changes, the new plan would scale back several tax cuts. Republicans began planning for a day like Thursday the moment they took control of Congress 4 years ago, almost immediately changing the way tax cuts would be officially scored. Instead of just calculating how much reducing taxes would add to the deficit, the new system would also take into. Republicans began planning for a day like Thursday the moment they took control of Congress 4 years ago, almost immediately changing the way tax cuts would be officially scored. Instead of just calculating how much reducing taxes would add to the deficit, the new system would also take into. Instead of fully repealing the alternative minimum tax, which applies to high-income families, the plan would simply reduce the number of people who have to pay it. The plan would also increase a one-time tax on profits that U.S.-based corporations are holding overseas and require corporations to continue paying the business version of the alternative minimum tax. Momentum for the measure was boosted earlier Friday when Sen. Ron Johnson, R. Wisconsin, declared he would vote for it. Johnson and Sen. Steve Daines, R. Mont, another yes vote, had been demanding better business tax breaks. "I sought assurance and I was given assurance that I will be at the table when Senate House bargainers write a compromise version of the bill," Johnson said of talks he had with GOP leaders Thursday night. Senate passage would push Congress a step closer to the first rewrite of the nation's tax code in 3 decades. The bill seemed to be sailing toward passage Thursday, until a report was released by Congress' nonpartisan Joint Committee on Taxation estimating the package would produce budget deficits totaling $1 trillion over the coming decade. Republicans can't say it enough, the tax plan on the table is for the middle class. But the numbers tell the tale of a tax cut tilted to the rich.